Hi there, welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbao. Special coverage of the Champions League game between Inter Milan and Barcelona underway in the San Siro in Italy. It's happening at the Heritage Craft Brewery. We'll be connecting with our colleagues on grounds very shortly. Commentary is on Joe 99.7 FM and Hit 103.9 FM. It's currently 2-2-5-5 on aggregate with the Sport in the finals of the Champions League up for grabs. But let's start with the president of the Ghana Olympic Committee, Richard Akpok-Kavi. He has announced plans to collaborate closely with the other stakeholders, the various sporting federations, to ensure that athletes are adequately prepared for the 2028 Olympic Games. According to him, this early groundwork will provide the Ghanaian athletes with a strong platform to excel on the world stage. Well, that's Richard Akpok-Kavi, the president of the Ghana Olympic Committee, ahead of the 2028 Olympic Games there. But turn attention to some football now. And goalkeeper Benjamin Asare has emerged from obscurity to national prominence from a career-threatening ankle injury. The Heartful goalkeeper has braved the odds to become Ghana's #1 goalkeeper. Joy Sports' Victor Achutamaklo spoke to him, the man who first discovered him, his teammates, and those who have followed his story in this special feature.
Benjamin Asare's path to national prominence has been nothing short of miraculous, especially for the millions who saw him suffer that horrific injury in 2021. But for men like Oluboy Komodo, who's the chief executive officer of Accra Great Olympics, and also the man who discovered and first signed him for St. Mirren somewhere in 2017, Asare's current standing as the nation's #1 goalkeeper is anything but miraculous.
Yes, we saw that he has the potential to be a great player. But secondly, we also saw that he lives among a certain group of people where, if you are not careful, the character will be very bad for him. So we advise him to move.
Once Oluboy got convinced about Asare's character, the goalkeeper became his pet project. His journey with Olympics, as Oluboy recounts, had its moment.
There have been times when he came to me that he will not keep the goal anymore for Olympics because of what some of us and supporters have been saying when we lose a match. The year Dwas was relegated, he considered four goals. Last season, the game against Diama too, he came to me that he will not keep the goal any longer because supporters are accusing him of taking bribe and so on, and he hasn't done that before. Why should we save a penalty in the first half and allow a goal in the second?
Before the 2021 season would end, tragedy struck in a city derby with Accra Heartful. Asare suffered an ankle injury that will keep him out of action for about a year and a half.
It's not an easy effort to generate Salifu's corner. Goalkeeper Asare seems to have done enough to have parried the ball away, but on the half volley.
Sichope Atrim Philip was co-commentator on the official television feed that night.
It was one of those things that when it happened, you didn't think the worst could happen to him because it's an aerial ball. The goalkeeper is within his right to come and clear it. Actually comes and fists the ball and falls awkwardly. But then you're thinking it's a knock. And all of a sudden he can't continue the game. You're thinking, okay, maybe it's a knock. But after the game, you are hearing that he's broken his leg and he's going to be out for a very long time. And you're fearing the worst for him at that point.
Tama onu ye attempt to be the ball na me ma pia be dey ape ponchi ball darada na so ye land in nice seminachi and yes in the air and e be land here na so e be land here no say because of 9 seminachi into 9 10 here into 10 here no onu na mi hu here na so time me here say me ponchi ball na me here say me start reaction na me hu say me na there at twist into onu no mama me hu so biom.
In keeping with his setback-defined self, Asare returned to fitness in style. Within a year, he had built up enough credits in the bank, working his way into the league of the country's best goalkeepers.
I wasn't expecting somebody like him with the kind of injury that he had, how Great Olympics managed to get him back into performing like the way he did. Even in advanced countries where technology and medical healthcare is solid, players do come back and the fear of getting that kind of injury again psychologically runs through their mind, and it kind of affects their performance or getting them back to the way they were. So for him to come back, I quite remember that season, he finished the season with just 13 games, and the following season he went 26, and I think that was when he got that call-up. So I must say that it was quite shocking to see him come back from that injury and performing at the level that he has, maintaining that consistency up until now.
Although Asare did not eventually make the World Cup squad in 2022, his sustained growth was hard to ignore.
Say time I able AFCON and team qualifying. I'm for a 55-man squad. Na mika squad no. Oh, until mika squad no the maminya sa energy and encouragement say the me person me no na eden abem. Na so be do baby no minya cup. Say say time near too close and I so I feel no more system no munti me give up just me keep on me here na on person ko bo AFCON no so ko bo AFCON no na sanya me adum na se bia to ya on be working towards nyama se nyama etimi ko ya on betimi afrem.
Back at Olympics, there was more disappointment as the team got relegated at the end of the 2023-24 season. Yet his 16 clean sheets ensured that Asare did not lack suitors.
If you look at Asare in the last 2 seasons, one department they've struggled with has to be goalkeeping. We've seen Eriko Forienchi, we've seen Richie Data, we've seen Richmond Ayi. Asare were struggling seriously. At a point, it looks like if you keep a clean sheet or Asare win again, you retain your spot in that department. And one of the things they decided to fix was their goalkeeping department. Then they brought in Benjamin Asare.
When we was going to Asare, they told me that he's old and nobody will buy him. I said, okay, then make the all transfer 100% for Olympics. If you say he's old, so no team will buy him. Make the all transfer 100% for Olympics.
After 3 years of waiting in the national pool, Asare finally got his Black Stars call-up in March.
Quite surprising the fact that he just went in and then all of a sudden he is the current number 1 of the Black Stars. But then again, actually, I don't think a lot of Ghanaians will complain because Atizigi, Jojo, Wolokot, they've also haven't been so exceptional in the fact that you say that, oh, why is Benjamin Asare starting? I don't think Wolokot has been super good that if anybody comes to replace him, you have to question. You can say same about Atizigi.
When the GFA did release that 52-man squad, I saw the name of Benjamin Asare. To be honest, I didn't make the most of it at the time because it felt like the FA were just trying to squeeze as many Ghanaian players available to them into the squad. And, knowing those, they would select anyway. But now, in hindsight, it is massive credit to the FA because when they needed a goalkeeper, it's from that same pool that they've got to pull Benjamin Asare from, which now clearly means that the FA were not necessarily squeezing any player into the squad, into that 52-man squad, but they were looking for players that they could potentially be working with in the future.
2 clean sheets against Chad and Madagascar in the World Cup qualifiers have ensured that Asare is set for a longer spell in the post than any local-based goalkeeper has managed in more than 20 years for the Black Stars.
I think the next game is in June, and at the moment he's the number 1. We decided for him. He did well in training. Like I said, it's not like he's here and the others are there. So we have a good situation where the goalkeepers are pushing each other.
Less than a year after joining Hatzabuk, the goalkeeper has become a reference point for players in the Ghana Premier League. In June, he's expected to be called up again for Ghana's trip to the UK for a 4-nation tournament. So much has changed for the Hatzabuk captain, yet he retains an unmistakable sense of humility and self-awareness.
And a big opportunity because so far me diminish mo enye obia na otiminya da akonya na enya onye obia so na onya otiminya sa opportunity because nkofo be a boss enye obia na onya sa platform this enyema adum na manya platform no enu che say me wie mi career because this is the time where say me work hard na me timi improve say na be ya nkofo betimi ahun say o boy no buy na boy na friend on nyama ya den wan give you up and na bia no so buy no the effort and give ya den.
Asare's former teammate, Gladson Awako, himself a former Black Stars player, encapsulates what the goalkeeper needs for the next chapter.
Keep calm, he should keep his focus. It's not done yet. He's played 2 games so far, and he's keep his clean sheet, as we all know. So he should just
That's Benjamin Asare, now Black Stars' #1 goalkeeper, who, of course, with a very interesting story as far as his journey from Great Olympics to Accra Heart of Oak and other Black Stars is concerned. And is looking forward to possibly playing somewhere in Europe by the end of this Ghana Premier League season. We'll see what happens. But in the Champions League, it's Barcelona who've managed to come back and are leading by 3-2 against Inter Milan. They were 2 goals down and now up by 3-2. And my colleague Eben is at the Heritage Craft Brewery. He joins me on phone for a quick update on what's been unfolding there. Eben, what can you report as far as the atmosphere at the place is concerned? We are here in Barcelona, up by 3-2 now.
Yeah, I'm currently at the Hisense Viewing Center. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Eben.
I'm currently at the Hisense Viewing Center, and the place is erratic. You know, the Barcelona fans are going very crazy. Because at the beginning of the game, they were down by 2 quick goals. And all of a sudden, out of nothing, they are now up by 3-2. The place is in a whole lot of, they're shouting, the jubilation. You can't even hear the comments. They are really, really, really happy. Because all of a sudden, the game is supposed to be there, and how it's the far. And looking at Barcelona, I think there's support from that side.
Can you just give us a little idea of how Barcelona have been playing in the second half, because it's the second half that they have suddenly put themselves in a position of playing in the finals come 31st of December. How has Barcelona improved so well in the second half?
I think they use one of their weakest links, Dani Olmo, to their advantage. You know, in the first half, Dani Olmo wasn't really living up to expectations, but the first 2 goals that came from Inter was as a result of his miscommunication on a pass given. But he was the one who scored the second goal, and that is what they are doing. So it's like the Inter players weren't much focused on Dani Olmo. They weren't marking him enough, and it was through him where they were able to get a chance. And you know, ever since they entered into the second half, Inter has been much of an attacking threat to Barcelona. It's more of they defending, clearing the ball, trying to get Marcos Thuram or Lautaro Martinez, who is now out of the game, to get hold of the ball. But it isn't really working. Barcelona have dominated the game right from the defense to the midfield and to the attacking part. With the introduction of Ronaldo Araujo, the game has calmed down on its legs, and they are playing the best of football they have at the moment. They can at the moment. And if things to continue this way, I think Inter are yet to concede more.
Well, Eben, thank you very much for that update as far as that game is concerned, and our reporters are at major viewing centers in Accra bringing updates on that game. You can follow us, all the updates on our social media handles on Joy Sports, Twitter, Facebook, and all of the other platforms. But let's turn attention to Germany now and connect with our partners at DWTV, because Germany's very exciting domestic league has been decided. Bayern Munich are champions following Bayer Leverkusen's loss. And I'm joined by Lolade Adewuyi. Lolade, who joins me now, is with our partner station DWTV for some update. Lolade, Bayern Munich, they are officially champions of the Bundesliga again. Tell me, how did the dramatic weekend unfold? It's 3-3 after 90 minutes between Inter Milan and Barcelona. The game is getting into extra time at this point. So some excitement and thriller still awaits us in that Champions League semi-final game. Thank you very much for your company. We'll be back same time tomorrow.